from Houston, Texas, and around the world. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Oh, yeah, man. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, man, I want to thank the people. Thank the people for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Getting your champagne wishes, caviar dream. Because this show right here, this Hall of Fame, man, is all about the people. Hey, Brad, I see you got your new mic. It's all blue and shiny and whatnot. Give it up. Road, hook you up.
Yeah, so I will say
they didn't hook me up.
I will say this is not, well, first of all, yeah, they did recently.
I'm just playing.
But secondly, this is not a new microphone. It's just a new cover.
Okay.
See that? Just a new same mic.
I got you.
Same mic, new cover. You got a little jealous there for a second.
I did. You know what I mean? Just a little bit.
Oh, Book, how you been? You know, it's been a minute since we got to actually sit down and chop it up on the Hall of Fame. I know you've been traveling. I've been traveling. There's been government shutdowns, airport shutdowns. NXT has been here, there, and everywhere. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Hopefully I'll be feeling a lot better. I'm getting ready to go to, Colombia and get stem cell therapy here at the end of the month, as well as I got the Invisalign. I say after all these years, I'm gonna go ahead and fix my crooked smile and fix my teeth. So I got the Invisalign, and that's been an experience, So I said, man, before I get up out of here, man, I want to do a little bit of everything.
You gotta get a Botox. Gotta go to Turkey. Get some hair put in there.
Oh, need no more hair, man. Look at this, man. Look at this. I'm good on the hair treatments, man. But no, man, hair restoration. Big shout out to Houston Hair Restoration for hooking me up because I did a year-long plan, man, where I went in and got treatments every week. Every week, you got to be dedicated to do something like that for a year straight. Every week, I went and got my hair washed. But the thing is, man, it was such a great experience because they give you a little glass of wine. You sit back in the massage chair, you know what I mean, and whatnot, and then just relax. The red light therapy, was really, really cool. So boom, big up, man. Got all the hair back and new follicles even just start growing in like everywhere. So I'm good, man. At my age, my hair should be dissipated. It should be gone by now. But I'm still hanging in there.
Wait, so talk to me about the Invisalign. So what does it feel like? And is it intrusive to have to eat and all that? Do you have to take it off when you eat and all that stuff?
Yeah, I got to take it out when I eat. Like drink coffee and stuff because you don't want to stain your teeth or anything like that. But you got to wear it at nighttime. When you sleep on a regular, so my teeth are like really, really sore right now, just because of the beginning to contract, and whatnot. So, but no, it's something that I always thought about, but I say, man, if I change my look, it might change, something, you know what I mean? So I just say, man, I'm good. My teeth, I've got this far with it. You know what I'm saying? But no, I might want to do a little bit more acting, and try to pick up a few roles in this late stage of, my life. And one thing I say about wrestling and acting, the way it correlates, you're never going to see an actor with bad teeth unless they cast him, for that reason.
For the look,
yeah, for that look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, I say, let me prepare for the role. You never know. So here I go.
Okay, well, hell yeah. How long do you have to have them on? What is the length of this?
Man, I think I got to wear these things for like a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hey, it's not the end of the world.
No. I mean, 2 years go by relatively quick, man. You know what I mean? I've been locked up before. You know what I'm saying? And the time actually goes by relatively quick.
It was 18 months, right?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it?
No, didn't.
No.
Didn't feel like 18 months because I kept myself busy. I was working, I had a job, I was on the weightlifting team, I was going to school, so I was trying to motivate myself, while I had that time.
Remind me your job again.
I worked in the laundry.
The laundry. I knew that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I had to make sure I was fresh. You know what I mean? Everything.
That was the gig.
everything was starch and iron, you know what I mean? So I had to make sure I was close to the presser, stuff like that.
Have you ever been back to speak or anything like that to TDC?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. A
What
couple
was that experience like?
man, it was it was an experience, you know what I mean? Because I must say, the last place I ever saw myself in this lifetime was behind bars, in jail. Especially then, to say the least, imprisoned. Oh my God, man. I
Mhm.
just did not see that happening at all just because I just wasn't that kid. That just wasn't me to do something stupid enough to find myself, in that circumstance. But I did. And then I remember being in Huntsville, Texas. That's where, they, process you. You got to go through Huntsville before you go to any other prison in the, state of Texas. And I remember going there and I remember being in this one little cell, right? It was like, I don't know, maybe 10 by 10, 8 by 10, something like that. It was a single cell, unit. And I remember seeing all the writing on the wall, like, such and such was here, be death before dishonor, such and such and such. It was just crazy, It was like something like out of one of these Mad Max movies or something that you would
Yeah.
and I just remember asking myself, how the hell did you get here? You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, once I got processed and boom, they sent me Navasota, Texas, PAC 2. That was the prison facility, and I got in the system, and boom, I just started thinking about what I was going to do when I got out, what I
Uh-huh.
needed to do when I got out, and then more importantly, being prepared when I got out. So but that time went by, that 18 months went by relatively quick.
God bless, man. Really. I know we've had conversation about it, but man, God bless, right? That you made it through that, and look at you now. Invisalign, hair therapy, going to Colombia to get some stem cells. God is good, isn't he? Isn't he?
Every day, man, every day.
He really is.
Seriously, man. You
He
never
really
know.
is, man. Ups and downs and all around, So I'm glad. I'm glad that I'm excited to see because here's what I know. Here's what I know about you, and I know about the boys. Okay, you get the couple stem cell treatments going. A few months in, you start to lift just a little bit heavier weight. You start saying, I feel pretty good. I might got one more run in me. I'm waiting on the call.
Oh no,
Hey
man. I'm
man, I
doing
got an idea.
like I said, I just had to have a few MRIs, and after the nurse called me and told me everything that's going on in my body, I don't know if I should have another match. Because everything is broke, according to her. I should be on a walker right now, in a wheelchair. I'm serious. That's the way I should feel, the way she explained it to me. And I was like, man, isn't that just that? I got a high, threshold of pain. I could take that much, what I mean, much more than normal. I say, it's because me personally, I think I feel normal. I feel relatively good. Sometimes the knee, like give me a certain twinge, and I go, oh man, that hurt. So it's like I get it. I know something's going on in there, but you know, I don't. At my age and what I've gone through, I think I should feel a whole lot worse. I really do.
Oh, yeah. Not to compare you to other guys, but like the generation prior to you, when they made it to their 60s, it was not a pretty sight. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was not a pretty sight.
Yeah, but those guys, they lived really, really hard,
Hard.
man. They burned the candle at both ends, man. I mean, when working, like countless hours, and you're on the road countless hours, you're in the bar, hammering them down, and then you taking a few gimmicks to, get to sleep, a little something to wake up and, get yourself, bruh, it could definitely, you know, uh, make things a lot harder in the later stages. And I'm glad, me personally, I was one of those guys that was, I was playing my video game, when I was on the road. I was, taking a lot of bath. When I would finish working, I would go to the hotel, I would get in the bathtub and just sit there and soak. I wasn't out in the bar drinking, partying. But what I mean. But I had a lot of fun. I had a hell of a lot of fun.
He
Don't
had a lot of fun.
don't
But
get
you hear those stories like where Jake the snake, and I feel okay saying this because he mentioned it, but it's like, you take a bump to get up for the match, and
Yeah.
then, you know, a bump after the match so you can get to the next town, and then you get to the next town and you take a couple of these gimmicks so you can go to sleep,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
wake up and you do it all over again. Then you go out to the bar, and
Yeah.
he's like, when you and I get it. When you're one of the boys, everyone's saying like, "Hey man, let me get you a drink. Let me get you a drink. Hey, let me
Yeah,
get you. Oh,
man.
you're Jake the
Yeah.
Snake. Let me get you. Hey, more shots on me. Give him this Jake the Snake, you know, or whomever. I'm just using him as a placeholder. Yeah, I can understand how that could be such a rough life. And that was when they were doing 300 days a year.
Temptation, man. It's a lot of temptation out there, man. Me personally, I'm just lucky, man. I was never about to drinking other pills or anything like that. I was always in the natural, man. The herbs. Let's just say that. The herbs.
You're a big Wolfsbane guy.
Yes, man. But look here, we gotta take a break, man. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
All right, guys. Brad Gilmore here from the Hall of Fame, here to keep it 100. Some men walk into a room like regular dudes, but when you've got Blue Chew in your corner, you walk in like it's a main event. I'm talking pyro, lights, smoke machines, a Titantron package, and your theme music blasting. Because Blue Chew just isn't a tablet, it's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody handed your downstairs a gym membership, a hype man, and a Hall of Fame ring all in one.
And let me tell you something right now, man. This ain't just about sex. This is about legacy. This is about making sure your third legacy gets remembered. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex, shipped straight to your door, man, in a discreet package. You don't need to go to the doctor's office, man. You don't need to stand in line at a pharmacy. Just come ready to go.
Look, last time I tried one of Blue Chew's tablets, my hog got so confident it demanded its own Instagram account. It told me missionary was off-brand and it was only doing extreme positions. I tried Blue Chew and suddenly my hog had a zip code, a driver's license, and voting rights. That's not just performance, that's a lifestyle.
Dog, for me, it felt like my parents were cutting promos on me, saying, "We can't hold this man anymore. Somebody call security." It was like my entire lower half turned into a tag team championship, man. And my brother, sometimes it's not even about the action. It's about walking into the room knowing you're holding a steel chair under the table, man, ready to go whenever the bell rings.
Look, this just isn't a supplement. It's an erection resurrection. And the truth is, it's not about what happens in the bedroom. It's about knowing that you're that guy. You want to give her group chat something to talk about? You want to hear your name come up at brunch? Lay it down with Blue Chew's help. And believe me, they'll be talking about how it gets up.
And that's real talk, guys. You only get one career, one championship run, and one chance to etch your name in the history books. Don't leave your legacy to chance. Step into the ring with Blue Chew and become a legend.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, you get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code BOOKER at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Use promo code BOOKER, BOOKER, and head to BlueChew.com for details and safety information.
Want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Now, can you dig that, sucker? Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. You know, we just chopping it up. If you got anything you guys want to talk about, make sure you guys drop a super chat. Do it now. I do it for you. But I don't know what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. We got a lot going on.
We do have a lot going on. But I told myself I would show you this if I could find the video. And again, this is just for a laugh. This is nothing serious. And then we can get into our regular topics. But I found this guy on Instagram. Somehow, I don't know if Kevin from Reality Wrestling sent him to me. I don't know how he came into my inbox. But he is so funny. And I was like, you know what? I need to put the spotlight on this guy. He's an impressionist, but the only impressions he does are wrestling impressions, right? And he does a cavalcade of different guys very, very well. His name is Anthony Malerba. Malerba. Have you seen this guy before, Book?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so he did this. This is a video that I said I got to send this to Booker, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna save it for the show. So he's doing a variety of different wrestling impressions of guys waiting in line at Starbucks. So this is something that I think that you'll find hilarious. Check this out.
I tried ordering on the mobile app. Only problem is I don't know how to use my mobile, and I don't know what an app is. Can I get a nice macchiato with extra sprinkles, please? Can you put my egg omelet in the oven until it's on fire? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and you're not gonna get a barista the same way that your virgin ass is never gonna get laid. So Stone Cold Steve Austin's got one very important question for you, son. The bottom line is, what kind of beer do you have on tap at this here Starbucks location? This is a new era of Starbucks. So are you ready? Here, I tried ordering on.
That guy's good.
He's really
Tell me
good.
he's not good.
No, he's really good. He's really
All
good.
of them are spot on.
Yeah, yeah. He was
Just
really
Paul
good.
Heyman was very impressive.
I was
just
waiting on a
wanted to-
Booker T. You know,
Didn't do a Booker.
I didn't do a Booker T.
Do you
Yeah.
want him to do a Booker T?
Hey, I want to hear it. I mean, if he's that
But
good,
you're not a fan of impersonations of you.
well, if you do it good, if you do a good impersonation, you know what I mean?
Have you seen anyone do it good?
Not really, man. Every time I see somebody doing an impersonation of me, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not me, bro. Do I actually really talk like that? I don't think so. You know, so I don't know, man. I don't know. But I want to hear. I want to hear him do a Booker T.
Okay, I'm going to DM him and say, look, we want a Booker T impression to play on the show because all of his other ones are spot on. They're spot on. Sean's spot on.
Sean
Paul
was really
Heyman.
spot on. I mean, that was really spot on. Seriously, you know.
If you
I mean,
closed your eyes, you would have thought
Yeah, seriously, yeah. Especially the way Sean is right now. That was Sean today.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good. So we'll see if we can get a good Booker T impersonation. I would love to hear that. You know, somebody does who does the good Jesse? And someone does a really good Jesse Ventura on the roster. I can't remember who it is, but I saw him do it, and he's sensational. Which, by the way, then we'll get into our topics. Do you know the guy? You know Jake Tapper, right, from CNN?
Yeah.
I actually got to chat with him the other day, and I didn't know. Do you know how he got his start in media? Do you know what his first book that he ever did was?
No.
It's a book called Body Slam: The Jesse Ventura Story.
Really?
This was his first thing that he was ever did, was a book about Jesse Ventura when he was running, not just for president, for governor,
Yeah.
but like his whole career and his whole life. So pro wrestling kind of helped launch the career of young Jake Tapper.
Yeah, you know what? I knew it was something about Jake Tapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of like him. You know what I mean? He's not like my
I
favorite
like him too.
journalist or anything like that, but he's firm. You know what I mean? He's fair. So yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to share that nugget. But look, there's a lot that's going on in the world of pro wrestling. Do you want to highlight Samoa Joe real quick?
Boom. Congrats. Big congratulations to Samoa Joe going out there and capturing the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, I said, you know what? I said Tony Khan was going to do this for Joe. I don't know if you remember that. But I said, Joe is that soldier on this, you know, guy that you can always rely on, the guy that you really want to put a stamp and, you know, that mark on his career. And for him to actually, you know, do this is big for Samoa Joe. I'm proud of that dude, man. I got a chance to mix it up with Joe right here in Houston, Texas, man. I mean, that was one of the only matches that I bled in. You know what I mean?
I remember this, yeah.
Samoa Joe left me in the middle of the ring, you know, and by my choice, I wanted to make sure I highlighted Samoa Joe and his accomplishments as well, because I always thought that dude was, you know, the real deal. Always thought Samoa Joe was the real deal, and I had such a great time, you know, working with Joe. You know, I had such a great time hanging out with Joe in Amsterdam. You know what I mean? We had such a great time, man. You know, getting on that freaking Autobahn in that van going about 100 miles an hour. You know, but damn, we gonna get there safe. You know what I mean? No, good dude, man. Good things happen to good people, and I'm just glad to see Samoa Joe become the world champ.
Yeah, I mean, and I know he's been the AEW champion, I think, once before. I believe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that.
Yeah,
Okay, he was. But to me, Joe is a guy who, when you see the world title on him, there's no questioning it. You know what I mean?
He's
Like, you're not like, oh, they put the title on him. No, yeah, he's believable. Now, I also want you to share with the people, because you're talking about Victory Road 2009, I believe, was when you and Joe mixed it up in Houston, and you did bleed in the match. And
I blade. I didn't
yeah,
blade. I
you
don't
bled.
blade.
You bled, not blade. Excuse me. You bled in the match. But what was your great line about if a promoter ever asked you to get a little color in the match, or what was your great line that you would always?
Always said, the color, the blood, it looked better on the white guys.
That's my favorite way of getting out of doing it.
I got one little scar on my head, like right here in the top of my head. And it was from the Global Wrestling Federation, wrestling the Blackbirds. And that's the only time that I ever, done that in the ring, and it was a small little cut, but I swear, man, that thing bled like crazy and it stung like crazy, you know what I mean? But no, it's more Joe. I didn't have to do that.
I did it for you.
Bro, it was the knockdown drag out fight that night, man. I remember, having all of my students there, for that show. And it was like sold out with, reality wrestling guys. And I'm sure like they wanted to hit the ring because literally, man, I got beat up that night. I got beat up pretty bad. But it was a night to remember. It really was. It was really, really, really good night, man. Really good match, yeah.
Where do you sit on blood in professional wrestling today?
I'm not a big fan of blood, but when it's necessary, it's necessary. You know what I mean?
When is it necessary?
Well, I mean, certain stories, it enhances, what's going on. I don't think it's something that's needed on a regular basis, but in certain angles, at certain times, when something has to be definitive, it's culminating into, this being it. This is the final countdown, and we're really trying to, get that story out there, really trying to make fans feel a certain way. Yeah, blood has always been necessary in the wrestling business. It really has. And for me, the PG era, that time where we didn't have blood was, let's just be honest, probably one of the most boring times of, wrestling in general, to be honest.
Yeah, not just because of the blood, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. Have you ever heard the story? I think Jericho tells the story. It was him and Batista. I think it was Jericho. But this is in the era where you weren't allowed to bleed. And they went and figured something out, right, in order to get a little blood in their match. I think it was a cage match. It was something, world title match, whatever. And then Vince was pissed. And the next day, he calls him into the office at Raw. And I think it was Jericho, because it sounds like a story he would tell. But anyway, he says, Vince showed us every camera angle that existed from the blade job. And he was like, it was like a Zaputer film, right? He had one from camera angles that we don't even have on the show. He pulled the arena tape, he pulled this tape, that tape, the commentators. No, I mean every angle.
You can't hide anything. You can't hide anything.
And then I think he fined them both $150,000 for blading. Wow. And I think Batista picked the tab up, the full one, because it was his idea. Hey, but man, that's a hell of a fine.
Yeah. Batista might have, had a little stroke and got that fine waived. You know what I mean? Anything
maybe
happen, you know what I mean? But nah, I mean, I get it. Sometimes, man, you gotta go with your gut. That 99%, 100% rule. If you're 99%, you question it, but if you're 100%, you do it, even though you might get fired
or fined.
Or fined, $100K. You know what I mean? But that's just part of the business. I always, believed in guys like Chris Jericho, because he's always been that stand-up dude in the ring, out of the ring. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I can see that happening. Hey, we got to take another break, man. We still got a lot to talk about. We got Road Glory, got the Sherry Montel Classic going on. We got a huge meet and greet going down for that show too. We're going to be talking about. Hey guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
You know, let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. That's right. Oh, yeah, man. You're in the Hall of Fame with Booker T and Brad Gilmore. Kicking it, man. But reality wrestling, Road Glory is going down, as well as the Sherry Martel Classic. A couple of guests from NXT will be in the house. Brooks Jensen, who's definitely a guy who's let's just say he's different these days. Tyra May Steele, Olympic gold medalist, will be in the house at Reality Wrestling, participating in the Sherry Martel Classic. Can she do it? Can she win it all? Can she come to reality of wrestling and have success? Somewhat like Hank and Tank coming down here and win the Reality Wrestling Tag Team Championships. But nah, man, it's gonna be a hell of a weekend. I do want you guys to show up live. TV taping, guys. Come be a part of the live television taping. See yourselves on the CW network every Saturday night at 10 p.m. With Reality Wrestling. That's what was always cool for me. Live TV taping. Come get your tickets. 1919 Caroline Drive. Right, so you get a chance to see yourselves on Channel 30. That's what I used to listen to back in the day when Paul Bosch was saying that 1919 Caroline Drive. I don't know. It's stuck in my head. It's stuck in my head like crazy. But now, guys, come get a chance to see yourselves live on television. Live TV taping going down this weekend. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Do it. Do it now. I do it for you.
And I do for the people in attendance. I've heard word that, you know, maybe, I mean, obviously we know the Sherry Martel Classic, you know, is going to crown a champion. Last year was our first one. Promise Braxton won that championship. There will be another championship given to the winner. But I'm also hearing rumors and chirps that maybe
presented to the winner.
Will be presented to the winner. But I also am hearing rumors and chirps that there might be another championship coming to Reality Wrestling. I don't know. I don't know if you know anything about this. Obviously you would. But maybe they'll find out on Saturday if they buy a ticket.
That's what I was just going to say. I don't want to tip my hat or anything like that. It's going to be a lot of surprises going down this Saturday. Like I said, huge meet and greet, guys. Make sure you guys come out and meet Sherilyn Guerrero. She's starting her journey in professional wrestling. She's going to be doing a meet and greet from 6:30 to 7 p.m. Talking to the fans, you know, letting you guys know as far as, you know, why. A lot of people want to know why, you know, now. You know, and my thing is not a more fitting place to do it than at Reality of Wrestling going down at the Sherry Martel Classic. So, guys, come down and meet the daughter of legendary Hall of Famer Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, I can't wait. I haven't met her myself. I know she's been down there training, so I'm excited to get to meet her, and that's going down again Saturday. And then December the 20th, Sub-Zero Reality Wrestling Sub-Zero will be going down, our final show of the year.
Yeah.
And I know that normally people are like, wait a minute, I thought y'all are the second Saturdays for Platinum. Well, we did push it back, and you made that announcement on Instagram that it was in honor of John Cena in a lot of ways. You know, John Cena is having his final match December the 13th, final one ever.
Yeah.
And we're going to be all in observance of that. It's almost like a holiday.
No, it's been like a crazy way to go out actually for John. You know, you got so many people participating in John Cena's retirement. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
You got like Matt Cardona coming back, you know, woo, 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 and you know it. You know what's crazy is money will make you will really make you know it real quick.
You want me to be Zack Ryder? Yeah, no problem.
Hey, I'm in.
Woo, 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 baby.
Woo, woo, woo.
All of a sudden, Nick Nemeth is Dolph Ziggler again. You know what I mean?
I'd be G.I. Bro in a heartbeat. What a check. You know what I'm saying? Coming down from the rafters. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious, man. But no, it's been cool actually seeing the supporting cast in John Cena's retirement. That's been really, really cool. I wish, you know, I could have done something like that, you know, on my way out. Big ups.
Yeah, I know, it's been really cool.
Big ups, yeah.
And I know that there was a question that Ariel Helwani asked Tony Khan. They had an interview last week.
What was the question?
Yeah, well, he asked him like at any time because there was rumors that Edge was going to be in the tournament, or Cope was going to be in the tournament. But there's no hope for Cope.
No hope.
Tony said they didn't ask, and he didn't answer. Do you know what I mean? No hope for Cope.
Man.
But it sounds like from the conversation, sounds like Cope might be rounding third at AEW. His contract runs through the rest of the year, and that's all we know.
Look, man, how long can you do it, man? How long?
We know Jericho's contract is coming up, and Tony said, well, I'd like to have him back in AEW.
Yeah.
So we don't know where Chris is going. Do you know where he's going? I don't know where he's going.
Over there, man. I wish they had an AEW around when I was doing this thing.
Sounds like
I'd have camped out. You know what I'm saying? I'd just camped out, made me a little tent, and I would have been going nowhere, man. Because I'm serious, man. They pay you not to work in AEW. Seem like.
Well, some of them, yeah.
I mean,
Ricky Stark sat at home for a year.
Rick Flair's still under contract, from what I've been hearing.
I think he's got to deal with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah. You know, I mean, what has he done? What has Ric Flair done for AEW?
He got paid, bro.
It's exactly my point.
Well, that's what they did for him. What did he do for them? I don't know.
Look here, bro. Look here. Like I said, it's a safe haven. It's definitely a retirement, spot. If you definitely looking to wrap this thing up the right way. I get it, man. I get it, seriously. Yeah.
Well, I will say that for Flair, it makes sense. Cope, it makes sense in a lot of ways. Jericho, if he wants to have another run in WWE, I think he could do it.
Yeah.
And I would be here for it.
Yeah.
And then Christian, I'd like to see Christian do something, maybe in the company again, but maybe not. I mean, it's up to him. And then, but he did ask him about Adam Cole. It sounds like Adam Cole's done wrestling.
Bro, Adam Cole's, I can't, I'm not saying anything bad about Adam Cole or anything like that, but Adam Cole's been banged up for quite some time.
Yeah.
I mean, every time this guy get back in the ring, bang, he gets injured, he get hurt. And I made a comment that, maybe if, Adam Cole, took a little bit more protein, got in the gym, hit the gym a little bit, drank a little bit more milk, got a little bit more dense bone. Okay.
You got destroyed for those comments. You remember that?
I got destroyed.
You were like body shaming.
I like that right there. Dense bone. You know what I mean? That right there is something you need when you're in the rest. What?
Yo, hey, yo, you're getting a little bit like Fat Joe. You say things and you don't even know what you're saying sometimes.
Dense bone.
Dense bone is something you need. Whoa. Whoa.
You talking? You see that?
Hey, yo.
You must have took a blue chew today. That's your problem. You must be on that blue stuff.
On that blue stuff, baby. Why you think the mic's blue, man?
Exactly. Right.
Hey, yo. Dense Bones, what you need. But yeah, Adam Cole, man. I hate to hear that. And then Britt Baker hadn't been around either.
Yeah, and then Britt Baker and Adam Cole, didn't they break up?
I don't know.
I think so.
Oh man, I hate to hear that.
Yeah, I think they broke up as well. I think, Britt Baker and Adam Cole finally called it a day, man. And that right there, that would make you lose weight, just that alone. You know what I'm saying? That make you not want to come out of the house.
There's some jokes to make here, but I'm not going to make them out of respect. Out of respect, I'm not making any jokes.
Oh man, I'm serious. They'll equate them to me anyway. Shit.
And that's right. That's right. Booker called me the other day. And he was like, "Hey, type this in on Google, click on this website," and I do. And he's like, "You're reading the quote, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You said that." I go, "I know." He goes, "It says I said that." I'm like, "Oh, well, hey, my bad, man. That's what you get for having the bigger name."
It attributed the whole story to me.
Everything that I said.
Every word. I was like, wait a minute. I didn't say any of this. I love it.
Top billing, brother. You're number one on the call sheet. You get it all.
We're looking for clicks. You know what I mean?
I forgot what we talking about. Oh, John Cena. Somehow we got all the way off onto Britt Baker's love life. John Cena wrapping things up on December the 13th, and Reality Wrestling will be on December the 20th. So make sure you check out Sub-Zero. I'm sure a lot of amazing matches will happen, and maybe some special guests.
Now make sure you guys come out this weekend.
Come out this weekend.
Weekend is what it's all about, man.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going down. The Sherry Martel Classic's going down. We definitely want to pay homage to Sherry Martel and what she did for this business. You know what I mean? For so many years, and what she did for me. As a young man trying to get in this business, as far as trying to get over, it was no problem once my brother and I was associated with Sister Sherry Martel. I'm talking about, baby, it was on like a steaming pot of neck bones. And we did some great work together. And this weekend we will be honoring Sherry Martel and what she did for this business, and crowning a new Sherry Martel Classic winner. So guys, come on down. Be a part of a live TV taping, guys. CW Network, Channel 39, every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Matt Damon. Obviously, everyone knows Matt Damon.
Yeah, Knobs beat him up.
Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly.
That's true, that's a true story. That's not allegedly.
Knobs actually. Okay, wait, hold on. So I was about to go somewhere else, but we'll get back to the Matt Damon story about Avatar. I've always heard this. They were at some bar where in Boston,
somewhere, I can't remember where it was.
And Matt Damon happened to be there, and the Nasty Boys and some of the other boys were there. And he and Knobs, what happened? What happened?
Look, I don't know exactly what happened, but my brother was there. Knobs beat up Matt Damon in the bar, and the thing is, they probably didn't know who Matt Damon was. Knobs and Sags, probably didn't know who Matt Damon was. Matt Damon was just a kid back then. He was just getting started. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like he was the same guy that played Django. That was Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Yes.
Well, they both look kind of alike.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Hey, man, my family, we went to go eat breakfast yesterday, and we went to this little spot, and I had met the family there, and they was already there when I got there, and I walked in the door, and this lady, she just thinking about that, what we were just looking at, she comes up to me, and she goes, "Well, did you just in here? Did you just change shirts?" And I go, "No, ma'am. I just walking in." She goes, "No, I just saw you a second ago. I just saw you." Wow. It was nuts, man. You know what I mean? So everybody got a doppelganger out there, man.
Well, and again,
those guys do look alike, a little bit alike. You know what I mean? Matt Damon and
Leo.
Yeah, when they were young. When they were young. You know what I mean? When they were young.
I don't see it, but I will say this. There are not a lot of people who look like Booker T, in my opinion. Like, I've never seen somebody, I know one time somebody thought you were Lennox Lewis. I remember that.
It was a dreadlock.
But that was the dreads, because y'all don't look alike either. And so this woman, I don't know. I'd like to have seen the other guy.
Me too. Serious.
I'd like to have seen the other guy, because I've never seen anybody who looks exactly like Booker T. That would be interesting. This Saturday, here's a programming note. Friday evening, you and I will be doing an ESPN radio special on the national network as a part of WWE's collaboration with the worldwide leader in sports for Survivor Series. So we'll be doing a 2-hour show Friday night. Make sure y'all tune into that. It's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about everything.
A lot of special guests, and a lot of pop-ups. So be ready. Be ready.
Right.
Maybe some of your favorites.
Yeah. So be ready with everything you got. But we're going to be there on Friday night. So I just want to make sure I mention that, because it is the Thanksgiving Classic Survivor Series coming up. Do you have any Survivor Series memories, like ones that stick out to you? The Survivor Series I remember you being a part of was the Team Austin versus Team Bischoff, I think, in 2003. Do you remember that at all?
Only Survivor Series I really remember is, when I was a part of Team Teddy.
Okay, when was that? Wasn't that WrestleMania?
No, that wasn't WrestleMania, I don't think, right?
I think that was WrestleMania. Yeah.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
When I was part of Team Teddy?
Yeah, that was WrestleMania.
That's the only time I really remember being on teams or anything like that,
Well, you were on Team Austin.
I remember being on Team Austin. I mean, because it was a stacked team. How can you forget something like that? But I just don't remember the dynamics, the semantics of like everything that went on, and just because matches like that, I always was like checked out when I was in matches like that. I was never really in the thick of it. Because I wasn't winning. Normally when in matches like that, I wasn't winning. Those wasn't my forte type of matches, so I would do those matches just because, I had to, and it was just part of the game. But as far as memories from those type of matches, I really, it's just like, the Elimination Chamber,
Yeah.
I knew I wouldn't win in that. The thing was, I wasn't even trying to win, You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, get me up out of here as quick as you can, type of deal, so certain matches for me, just didn't register like some did.
Well, I will say, as far as Survivor Series, just for people who don't know, Team Bischoff versus Team Austin was a really great match. And here was your team. It was you, Shawn Michaels, Rob Van Dam, and the Dudley Boys. And y'all took on Chris Jericho, Christian, Randy Orton, Scott Steiner, and Mark Henry. Now, that is an interesting mix-up of talent right there. Went 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The match went 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what came after that match?
What that?
The Undertaker versus Vince McMahon in a Buried Alive match.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Like I said, I was checked out back then, bro.
Yeah.
It really wasn't about anything for me other than getting through those landmines and, trying to make it to the next town, the next show, the next day. And I told you, man, when I started in WWE and finally I had a weekend off and I went to go out on my boat and I had to go get it registered. And it was 5 years later from the previous time I had took it out, 5 years that went by.
That's crazy.
And I was like, wow, I did not even realize 5 years had gone by because I was working on a weekly basis. You know what I mean? No football seasons or anything like that. No, never at home, for stuff like that. It was work. So like I say, bro, I get it, but for me, that stuff was a blur.
Man, it's just so crazy how that time was, how you don't because again, for the fans, we remember all this stuff like very specifically. Like I remember watching that pay-per-view. I remember you and JBL at Survivor Series one year for the WWE Championship.
I remember that. I remember that.
That was a hell of a match.
Remember I had the orange, the yellow tape on.
Yeah.
The yellow and black. I remember that.
Yes, you did do that. What was that about?
Oh, it was nothing. It was just I was just trying to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. You know what I mean? That's why I never did it again. But
You did the white tape after that.
Yeah. No, I was just mixing it up. But now certain things I remember, but certain things, there again, does not register at all just because, it wasn't about me. It was about, being a part of, that nucleus and what was going on and going out there trying to do my job and do it to the best of my ability, and whoever is winning it, hopefully we can make them look good. That's the only thing I was thinking about in those type of matches.
Well, I will say that this one you will remember because Survivor Series for the last couple of years has now had a subtitle of War Games, and I'm sure we'll talk about this in our special, but you were there for the greatest War Games moment in the history of the genre because it's the most infamous moment leading up to a War Games, which was the Shockmaster.
Yeah, how can I forget that?
That one you can't forget.
No, I mean, I remember that one like it was yesterday, man. I mean, because I was young, just getting into the business, being in a position that I don't even know how I got there, being on the stage with all those major players, man. I was like, wow, Sid, excuse me. Now make sure you edit that. Sid, Vader, you know what I mean? Sting. Man, I was like so freaking excited, man, just to be a part of something like that. And then when that moment happened, I was just like, wow, you know what I mean? That was a major blunder, major botch, major mistake, that was made on live television. No way you could take it back or anything like that. But man, I seem like I've been been a fly on the wall in so many situations like that as well. But yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that just tell me this. Okay, people know what happened with the Shockmaster. Everybody knows what happens. Everybody knows what happened, right?
Yeah, most people.
Fred Ottman, who played Tugboat, or his ring name was Tugboat in WWF, was coming over. I believe he and Dusty related, or is that just like they just say they're related?
I'm not sure.
But anyway, he comes over. They put the stormtrooper helmet that's covered in glitter, which already should have been a red flag to Fred. That already should have been a red flag. It's already someone else's helmet. It's a stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah. It seemed like they could have got a something. Something
original,
like Beta had the big, Mastodon. Yeah, they could have got somebody in Japan to make something cool. They didn't have to do that. I mean, it was glitter all over the damn place.
And so, not only do they have the stormtrooper helmet, then they decide to put glitter.
Not just glitter. That some of the biggest piece of glitter I ever seen in my life.
Like sequins almost.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So if you drop it, glitter's just going to be in that spot, just going to fall off of it, no matter what. It was the worst idea in wrestling history.
And I want to know who was responsible for the helmet, because that doesn't get talked about. What gets talked about is Fred, Shockmaster busts through the wall and trips over the board that's supporting the frame of the wall.
Yeah. But the thing is, that board wasn't there in rehearsal. Okay?
So he did come through the wall before?
When we rehearsed it, the board at the bottom was not there. Okay. They reinforced the wall because they saw how flimsy it was, and they put the board at the bottom just to, I don't know if anybody told Fred about it. And he had that mask on and he couldn't see it, and it totally was a disaster. It wasn't like we walked through everything like they walk through everything today too, where it's a rehearsal, and then another rehearsal. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, okay, guys, we're going to do this, such, boom, okay. That was it. That was the rehearsal. And then, like I say, the wall thing, I think was, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the whole downfall of, Fred Ottman and Shockmaster, was that one last extra added thing, and that was that board going across the bottom. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I know we got to go to a break, but guess what? Even if the board wasn't there, the helmet wasn't going to get over.
Well,
he
probably would have fell even if the board wasn't there.
Couldn't see.
We never know. You never know. Like Franco Harris, getting the immaculate catch. Hey guys, we're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey everybody, Brad Gilmore here with the one and only Booker T, and today we're not just talking about wrestling, we're talking about something that's changed the game for both of us personally, and that's Mando whole body deodorant.
Yeah, that's right, Brad. You know, the most valuable thing in the world could be that #1 draft pick or home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But you know what's second? Time.
Absolutely, Book. And let me tell you, managing body odor, that used to eat up a lot of time. Always worrying about it, especially around midday, but not anymore since we started using Mando.
Yeah, but tell them why, Brad.
Well, Mando isn't like those other deodorants that just mask the odor with heavy fragrances. Mando stops odor at the source. It blocks bacteria on your skin from breaking down sweat, which, by the way, is what really causes that BO.
And it's clinically proven to control that odor for up to 72 hours. Now that's long lasting, man.
It really frees up so much time since switching to Mando. I've even perfected my half-court shot, believe it or not.
Man, that's awesome. And let me add, I've been using Mando everywhere. Pits, grundles, and even those stinky crevices. We all got it's aluminum-free, cruelty-free, dye-free, and vegan. Designed by a doctor who knew what was up about body odor, man.
And for our listeners, we got something special. New customers can get $5 off the Mando starter pack. That's over 40% off. Just use our code BOOKER at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com.
Use shopmando.com. Check out their starter pack. Brad and I would not steer you wrong.
With Mando, you're really taking care of your body odor anywhere and everywhere. Give it a try and let us know what you think.
All right, now back to wrestling, but remember, control your body odor anywhere, anytime with Mando, and save big with the promo code Booker at shopmando.com. Oh, yeah, man.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I see a lot of people in the chat right now, chopping it up. One little comment that was made, and I just want to touch on it for a second.
Okay.
Do you mind?
Go for it.
It's the stuff that Bret Hart been saying. Bret Hart has been like all over the place lately, and I don't know. I really don't even know what it is. But this dude, I like Bret Hart. Bret Hart has done so much for this business, and now at this stage of the game, seem like I don't know. It's like everything's nuclear. Everything's just, like burn, let everything burn. And I just say, man, why? I mean, I know Bret Hart had his issues with Goldberg, and those issues are like deep rooted, for what happened inside the ring. But one thing I must say, stuff that happens in the ring, it happens. I don't think none of us go out in the middle of the ring and try to hurt somebody on purpose or anything like that. But I just think Bret Hart is a much better person than the person that, that's been doing these podcasts and making a lot of these, claims that he's been making as of late. I mean, some of this stuff you just can't walk back. Some of this stuff you can't walk back, and you're going to see, we got to see each other, so at some point in time, and to not be able to relive like some of the greatest moments in the history of this business because of bitterness, it's going to be it's going to be a lonely, dark day at the end of this ride. And I just say, man, I just think Bret Hart's a much, much better person than the person that we've been seeing as of late. I know he is.
It's a tough thing to even discuss, and if people want to know some of the headlines, they can go out there and Google them. I don't even think we should.
No, I don't think we should. No.
But as far as Bret himself, like with, and obviously you work with Bret Hart. I've gotten to meet Bret on a few occasions, and we've had him on the show a few times, and it's a privilege and an honor to even rub shoulders with Bret, no matter how briefly it's been. But it's tough. Look, even when we discuss bitterness in wrestling, like what if I'm talking to some of the guys and be like, man, this guy sounded a little bitter. It's like, but not Bret Hart bitter. Like that's the top. What I mean? It's not that level. And I love Bret. He face of the new generation. all the qualifiers that you want to put in front of it. But I agree with you. Sometimes it's like, hey, brother, why don't you just let your body of work speak for yourself at this point? You know, you don't need to do it. What does Bret Hart need to do an interview for? You know what I mean? What's he to do an interview for? He's Bret the Hitman Hart, Hall of Famer twice over, one of the greatest of all time. If you had him in your Mount Rushmore, I wouldn't question it. You know, that's how amazing Bret Hart is. And in some of the things he's saying and the Goldberg stuff, look, I don't think Goldberg has done himself favors either in the media as of late. But I'm gonna defend Goldberg on the Bret Hart thing because it's an accident. Accidents happen. It's not something that was done intentionally or on purpose. And at some point, you got to let that go.
Look, I wrestled Goldberg, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, if you wasn't ducking, something might happen. I'm serious, bro. I was always aware of what could happen working with Goldberg just because I knew the guy was green. I knew he wasn't the most experienced professional wrestler in the world. So I was always thinking about protecting myself when I was in there with Goldberg. And that's just the truth, you know what I mean? But I think that was smart at the same time, you know what I mean? But like I say, even if something, you know, would have happened, which it could have, I wouldn't have thought that he did it on purpose or anything like that. Because I know Goldberg, I've been around Goldberg for many, many years. And Goldberg is someone that I can consider a friend.
I think everything look, Goldberg's another guy who we've had on the show several times. Every interaction I've ever had with him has been positive, and I don't think that he deserves to continually get crapped on by Bret Hart for a mistake. You know, it's just is what it is, and you know, you've tagged guys, I'm sure before. I know you have. You know, on accident. You know, on accident, maybe on purpose, but most of the time on accident, right? 99% of the time, and what do? You know, maybe they get a receipt in on you. Maybe they talk to you after the match, and then you squash it. That's it. That's over.
Yeah. You apologize and you move on. Hey, bro, sorry about that, man. You know what I mean? Hey, you know, here's a rain check.
Give me back.
Catch me tomorrow. We'll be working tomorrow. You know what I mean? Just give me back. Whatever. You know, it's one of those type of deals. But nah, man, I know I've lit a lot of guys up. You know, none of it been, you know, personal. None of it has been intentional. Or, you know, to hurt someone. No, it's never been anything like that. But it happens. I was listening to Rene Dupree talk about I broke his nose.
Oh yeah.
And I actually saw the footage just yesterday. I don't know how it came up on my feed. It must have read my mind or something.
Did you do it?
I caught it with that back elbow. Oh, it was deadly. It was deadly. Right on the point, right on the precision point. Oh. And man, he was all busted up and bloodied up, man. But I've got you know, Paul London. I caught it with that back elbow. But trust me, it wasn't out of malice or anything like that. And trust me, I was not trying to hurt those guys. And now, you know, 20 years later, you know, you might hear them talk about it, and they may be a little bit hot about it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Just because me personally, I didn't remember it until I heard someone say something about it. You know what I mean? And then I go back and watch it and I go, oh man, I did catch him. You know, because I thought I've always been a safe worker. I've always been a guy that, you know, that prided myself in going out there and being able to, you know, manage that thing, make sure I was a general inside that square circle, no matter what. You was going to be able to walk away to your family after that. That's the type of guy. And the thing is, I was that type of guy. But you'll hear guys talk about Booker T, and they'll say, "Man, oh, Booker T was, you know, he was a little stiff, he was a little snug." I heard Stevie Richards talking about me, and he said him and I, we had a match on Velocity. You know, back in the day, you know, I didn't work Velocity too often. That was, you know,
it was Stevie's show.
That was Stevie's show, but I know somebody's gonna write about that. But,
it was just a joke. I couldn't help it.
but Stevie,
we know he was a Sunday Night Heat guy.
Stevie said when I started working him, he thought I was for real. He said he thought I was, you know, shooting on him. He thought I was, you know, really being serious. And then after a minute, he realized that's just the way I work.
Yeah.
And after that, we had a really, really good match. He actually said it was a match that got him promoted. You know.
Oh, I saw him say that on his channel.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was always
people like, oh, this guy can work.
get guys contracts, man. That was my thing, going out and get guys contracts. You know what I mean? So I just put Stevie in that category. Yeah, yeah.
But going back to Brett for just a moment.
Uh-huh.
So my grandmother, this had to be 2008, 2009. My grandmother, God rest her soul, man, was dealing with Parkinson's, and she went out onto Richmond Avenue, which is the street behind her house. It was Richmond Avenue. She went out, and as soon as she made a turn onto Richmond Avenue, she rear-ended somebody. Boom, right? Not a big wreck, not big. No one got hurt, just a little fender bender. Her car wasn't disrupted at all. And you know what grandma did? She turned around, she came back in the driveway, she walked in the house and handed my dad her keys and said, I'm done. I can't drive anymore. She knew it in the moment, right?
Yeah.
She knew I shouldn't be on the road anymore. She had the wherewithal to say, not for me. And I say that story to say, Brett, like, you don't need to drive the car anymore. You know what I mean? Sometimes let your body of work speak for itself. You don't
Yeah.
need to go out there and talk about the past anymore. We know who you are. You're A1 in everybody's book. To do this is just everyone's going, oh man.
Just the way I see it, man, I just refuse to give these podcasters these shoot interviews about what went on with me and my peers and stories that happened inside that locker room. You're not going to hear too many of those stories from me. You're not going to hear, I mean, people have, tried to get me to talk about Batista and tried to make me say I say anything negative about Batista. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to say anything negative about Batista. This is a guy that him and I had a disagreement with, and you have disagreements with people all the time. You settle your differences like man, and you move on. But it's not that big of a story to where we got to keep rehashing it over and over and over for for someone else's entertainment. And I think that's what Brett is doing right now.
Yeah.
He's not entertaining anyone else but these people that want to hear that kind of stuff, that negativity. Which
in some ways he's being used.
Oh, in a lot of ways, And I just think, like I say, the person I know Brett a much better person than that. I at least I would like to think that way. Guys, you're in the Hall of Fame. Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Oh yes, man. No, man, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Man, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Every time I see stuff like that, man, I realize how good I really was.
No, you should talk that talk because you're not lying.
I'm serious, man. Every time I see stuff like that, man, I go, man, I was really good at this stuff, man. Going out there, performing inside the middle of that square circle, and like the drop kick off the top rope, the big side kick, over my brother's head, the Harlem Hangover, and I don't even know how I could do that stuff. I don't even know what willed me to be able to go out and perform, at that level. But I do know from the beginning, I always wanted to be able to perform at that top level. I always wanted to be mentioned with the greats of the business. Always say Ric Flair, Nick Bockwinkel, and JYD. Those 3 days right there. I say, man, I want my name to ring with those guys just one day. And man, 30 plus years later, I put myself in that category. Amazing.
It is amazing. And you know what? Every time I see videos of you and Stevie together, what an incredible tag team. And I still say this, and I haven't gotten a chance to talk to Stevie in a long time, but he was so good on the microphone. He's so entertaining. Like, I love that line where he's like, we're family. You got to fight him, sucker. You got to fight me too. It's such a good, and because you felt it. He felt it, man.
Yeah.
Stevie, one of the great promos, even in reality wrestling, he was always entertaining.
No, man. I mean, we killed it, man. I swear, man. Harlem Heat was definitely one of a kind, and we broke, certain modes of, professional wrestling, professional tag team wrestling, and pretty much just did it our way, unapologetic, and just said, man, follow that. That's what it was all about. I remember, coming into WCW, our first couple of years, And man, we didn't win any matches, man. We didn't win any matches, but we would go out and just rock it, and just, the fans would be, so mad at us. Even, though we would lose the match, they would still be so mad. The baby faces would leave, and then my brother and I, we would, still raise our hands at the end of the match, and the fans would boo us even louder, it just felt so freaking good to be doing something like that. Never in a million years I saw myself being a professional wrestler. I'm watching it on television, for so many years. Like I say, Paul Bosch and Houston Wrestling was the staple in my life. But never in a million years I would think I could compare, and stand next to guys like, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and, Butch Reed and, Ted DiBiase. Never in a million years I would think I would be a professional wrestler.
Yeah. And to go as far as you did, and
Yeah.
that guy.
That's even crazier, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy how this thing works. And I'm still, part of everything that's going on with these young guys right now. Gold Rush going on with NXT, and second week coming up here tomorrow. So get ready, guys. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out on that. To be a part of these young guys' lives right now and still being able to make an impact. My son, he came to me just yesterday and he goes, Dad, what is this? And it was Lola Vice doing her gimmick, and I was going, Giki, 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 Giki. He goes, what is Giki? I was like, just a wrestling term, man.
Real ones know.
Oh man, I'm serious.
We know what you mean.
Oh man, but to still be a part of this stuff, man, it's so freaking awesome. I got a chance to run into Roxanne Perez just last week. She's doing it big on the main roster, and I'm so proud of that young lady for staying the course, believing in herself, believing in her talent, and going out there and showing the world that she can run with the biggest dogs in this business, man. I'm so proud of her. So yeah, man, and it's amazing. It's amazing where I am right now.
Two things before we get to our super chats. First off, talking about the young talent on the roster, Maxine Dupree is the Intercontinental Champion. She defeated Becky Lynch. How do you feel about Maxine?
Maxine been putting a lot of work in. I know she's been working with Natalya a lot.
Yeah,
and that right there is that experience is invaluable. Being able to work with somebody like Natalya. This business is about putting the work in, and hopefully you get rewarded for it. And Maxine has been doing work. And the thing is, I always say, you got to be dependable. They got to be able to trust you. Maxine Dupree is somebody that they know they can trust. She's at every show. You guys may not see her, on every television show, but I see her. Let's say this. I've seen her, grinding, coming through that airport, hoodie on, just trying to, get to that next show and trying to, progress and trying to learn as much as she possibly can. And now I look at her, I say, yeah, give her a shot, man. I mean, she passes that airport test.
absolutely,
like, with flying colors. I mean, she's amazing. She's amazing. She's a beautiful girl.
gorgeous.
And now being in that position, but she doesn't act like it. That's what's crazy with her. She doesn't act like it at all. But being in that position now, definitely she'll be able to be highlighted and show exactly, what Maxine Dupree is all about.
Yeah, what a rub winning the title off of Becky Lynch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better way to win the title.
Don't get no better.
And then finally, before we get to our super chats, what do you think of Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua?
Man, you know what? I like the dynamic of this thing, but I'm just hoping, man. I'm just hoping and praying that it's not a work. I know the Tank Davis thing fell through, and this thing got put together like that.
Like that.
I mean, it seemed like it was, like Anthony Joshua was, on call, like he was waiting in the wings in case this fight was to, blow up. But for me, this would be Jake Paul's first real fight against Fury. He lost against
Tommy Fury. He lost to Tommy Fury.
And I'm gonna tell you right now. This is if this fight is not a work, I would be thoroughly surprised because Jake Paul had a rough time with Tommy Fury.
Yeah,
he had a rough time with Tommy Fury. So
lost the fight.
So exactly. So how you think this thing is going to go with Anthony Joshua, a guy who went out there and beat Francis Ngannou convincingly.
Yeah. I mean, look, Anthony Joshua is no Nate Robinson. He's no Ben Askren. He's no Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He's no Mike Tyson at 60 years old. This is a guy who's still peak of his powers, 35 maybe, 34, 35 years old, maybe 36 at the oldest. Former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world and could do it again. You know, only big losses on his record is what, Usyk a couple times, and then Andy Ruiz, we remember in New York. And I think there's one other one he lost to. I can't think of who it was, but this is a guy who could still be the world champion. So if he doesn't go out there and finish Jake Paul in rapid fashion,
I wouldn't necessarily say in rapid fashion. I mean, Jake, according to what kind of defense he's going to have, I don't think Anthony is going to want to go in there and just run into anything and get knocked out because he can have egg all over his face, getting knocked out by a YouTuber. That's the last thing that Anthony Joshua is going to want. So he's
not going to get knocked out.
Well, I'm not. I don't know. He's definitely going to have a cautious approach, But I do think he should win that fight. He should win it convincingly. I think it's 8-round fight, 3-minute rounds. I think 3-minute rounds. I would hope men would fight 3-minute rounds in a sanctioned bout. Okay, yeah. So if Anthony Joshua don't go out there and really beat the brakes off this guy, I'm gonna think it's a money grab. That's just me.
Yeah, to me, it's a fascinating fight from a lot of ways, and it went from an exhibition at a catchweight with Tank to a professional heavyweight bout. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in Miami in a few weeks. Let's get to our super chats before we have to get out of here, Book. This from the Hefe Pilot. What's up, King Book and the Boat? I'm coming for what's mine. Life been showing me a lot of things, and I have faith 2026. I'm your next roast superstar.
Bro, you've been talking for a long time, man.
You have.
You've been talking for a long time. You if you're gonna talk it, you better start walking it. Reality of wrestling, we ain't got time to be waiting around, for guys that perhaps want to be superstars. Right now, we are working with the superstar, the stars that will be superstars of the future, guys. So if you want to be a part of it, bro, come on down, man, and quit talking about it. Be about it. All right, let's do that.
I'm with you 100%. We got love for you, but you gotta come be about it. Okay, Toenail, I can't see the Vision losing. That team is so stacked, and the Usos don't appear to be stronger of the links on either side. Going to be a lot of pain. They talk about the War Games match, which we'll get more into in our ESPN radio preview on Friday.
I like the Vision, though, man. I like the Vision
a lot. A lot.
Brunson Reed, Bron Breakker. Those guys, they truly are the future of this business.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Brown, 87. Congrats, Booker T and the Row for signing Sherilyn Guerrero. How did that come about?
Hey, man, she made that leap. She wanted to, go on this journey and see exactly where it take her. I mean, I'm so proud of her for, coming to Reality of Wrestling and trusting me and hopefully guiding her in that right direction. One thing about Reality of Wrestling, it's never about anything other than, trying to produce the best talent that we possibly can. And hopefully, she's in the best situation she possibly could be in. And we might be seeing the next big star this business that has to offer.
Can't wait to see how she does. He also asks, how come Shane McMahon wasn't shown on camera on Raw in Madison Square Garden?
And look, I don't work there, man. I don't work.
Did you see his seats though? My man was far back.
Well, tickets high, man. Shane,
come on, you can't get Shane a front row.
Shane may not
give him West Side Gun seat.
Look here. Shane may not have wanted to be seen. Have anybody thought about that?
It could very well be.
Has anybody thought about that?
But they could have given some better seats.
Did they show him?
They didn't show him.
So how you know what seat he was in?
I saw the video. There was a video of Shane sitting there. He's on the floor, but all the way on the last back. He's far.
Bro, how quick of an exit is going to be? I'm not here for the whole show.
That's probably a good point too.
Yeah, good
point.
I'm here for this one reason. This one reason. I don't want to make a big rush.
I think he was there for Cena.
I don't want. I really don't want people to actually see me. I don't want. Have anybody thought about that for 1 second?
That's good. It's a good point. It's a good point. Good point. Could have got him some better seats. Kai Toenail, 93, 3993. I guess he's got a new YouTube, maybe. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving with the family. What's your tradition, favorite dish? Who takes the most home? Who never brings anything? Yeah, we got Thanksgiving this week. Obviously, Book. Any particular traditions you have, or do you have a favorite dish?
I like that fried turkey, man.
The turkey's the best.
That fried turkey or that turducken. You know, go with that turducken with a little burn, a little crispy around the edges. You know, around the the wing part and whatnot. Oh my God, that's some good eating right there. So that broccoli rice casserole. Oh, you can't go wrong with that. That broccoli rice casserole, dog. You got to get some of that with a lot of cheese on, a lot of cheese. You know what I mean? So no, man, I love me some Thanksgiving.
Oh, I do too. I like the turkey. I like the stuffing. I like the. Do you have cranberry sauce? A little cranberry sauce on a roll.
Cranberry sauce. I got to mix my cranberry sauce with the Ghibli gravy. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know about that Ghibli gravy. You know,
but
what
I
mean?
know it. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I ain't know white folks eat Ghibli gravy. You know what I mean? I know
We don't all the time.
I know they eat pumpkin pie. They don't eat potato pie. And stuff like that.
Sweet potato pie.
Yeah, most white folks they eat pumpkin pie. They don't eat sweet potato pie.
I'm actually. Guess what? I'm making one dish.
Pumpkin pie.
Nope. I'm making a sweet potato casserole that I'm bringing. So talk about it now. Talk about it now, huh?
Casserole and pie is different. Okay,
Okay.
White folks eat casserole all the time. You know what I mean? That's a white folks dish.
Okay. Hey, but you know what? Whatever y'all do during the holiday weekend, I just hope you do it with a dense bone. Because that's what you need.
You do need a dense bone. Just do that right now.
I said it last time. I don't know if you do it on purpose or if it's by accident, but it's funny nonetheless.
Oh man, that's it, man. That's it.
That's it. We're done.
Oh man, I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame today. Get your champagne wishes, caviar dreams, man. This show, man, is all about the people, man. And until next time, man, we appreciate you guys, Brad, for all the heavy lifting. Until next time, peace. We love you. We out.